What's up, guys? My name's Alexis.
And I'm Abby.
And we're your hosts with Praises in the Pod. We are so excited to be back in the studio and just talking about all things loving people where they're at and pouring Christ into the people's lives, no matter what season or anything that's going on, just being there for them. And so we're going to talk about that. So we're going to start off in prayer and then we're going to jump right in. So here we go. Lord, Heavenly Father, just thank you for all that you have been doing in our lives, Lord God. Thank you for protecting us and just leading and guiding us, Lord God. We pray that you speak to us and through us today and let this episode glorify you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a good topic.
You know what? I'm going to be totally transparent with y'all. We were going to record our last episode and we got halfway through the beginning intro and Abby's like, and loving people where they're at. And I was like, no, we're not. Where did that come from? She doesn't text back, y'all.
Yeah,
she literally does not text back.
Yeah, I do. Look, I just have so much else sometimes going on, and sometimes I get mixed up what we're talking about. And so I've prepared something else, and then we sit down and she's like, no, this is what we're talking about. And I'm like, oh.
Because she didn't respond in the text of what we were talking about. So now we're like, you know what? This is great. We'll talk about this since she's already prepared and got stuff and ready to go. So here we are.
Yeah. We're just going to see how it all pans out.
And you know what? Yesterday, to be honest, we recorded an episode yesterday too, but y'all have already heard that episode and it turned out so good.
Yeah.
Literally. It was just all about like idols in our lives. Strongholds and stuff like that. So it turned out fantastic.
Yeah.
So now we're going to be talking about loving others where they're at.
Yep. I mean, loving them through, it almost goes with what we were talking about, because we have to love each other through our strongholds. Even as Christ followers and in the church, like that's where it's so important for the body of the church to stay one and stay a whole unit. Because, I mean, we're all Christ followers, but we all still have those strongholds as we talked about. And especially for those that have not met Jesus yet. So
Absolutely.
It's both. I mean, it's everywhere. So it doesn't matter you're a follower, you're not, where you're at in life. We just got to learn to love each other where we're called to be. And what's so crazy is my verse that I had this morning literally was like on point for what we're talking about today. And it just hit me. What is it? So it was John 15:12. But it's a command. So it says, my command is love each other as I have loved you. And it's Jesus talking. And like, when you think about that, I mean, he's literally giving us a command.
Yeah.
He's not just saying like, if you want to, if, you can, or it's optional. Like, this is something that's not optional.
It's convenient for you. Yeah, love them.
It's right. No, right. If it's convenient for you, if it makes sense, if it makes you feel good, do it. But no, this is a command regardless.
Yeah.
And if you think about that, like, that's heavy. Like, think about him saying, as I have loved you. So if you really think about how he has loved me in every season that I've ever been in, and I got to do that for everyone that I encounter in my life.
Which this morning I was actually thinking about that and praying, like, God is just so selfless to really send his son. Like, could you fathom, like, Sutton, you're going to have to go die for everybody now? And like,
no,
like, that is just so selfless. And so like, I was just thanking him, for that, and just like being just in a position of just gratitude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, the love that he has to love us, like what you're talking about in that scripture is like, love everyone the way that he loves you.
And what's so crazy is when I think about it, in the context that you're talking about, this has been since the beginning of time that he's had this plan, that he's loved his creation so much that he didn't want us separated from him.
Yeah.
So it was his plan all along to send his son to take care of that separation and bring us in wholeness with him through the blood of Christ. And when you think about it that way, it is like, wow, he truly, truly does love like his creation. He loves each and every one of us so much. And so that's kind of, it's heavy to think about too, doing that, like sending your son, your child to take care of everyone else's sin in the world and the reason that we're separated from him.
Yeah.
That he is the one that took care of that, and that was his own son.
When I'm thinking about like just loving others, and like we were talking about this in a few episodes ago of just like I'm not very a nurturing person or whatever, and I'm just like, it doesn't matter if you're a nurturer or like you're that type of person. Like God calls us to be those types of people and just to love everyone. So even if it's not something you're strong at or something you're good at, it's still a commandment of loving people.
Correct.
And just being that light in someone's life. Like, no, I don't have to be a physical touch and hold and hug and whatever, but I can still be there for people and love them, you know?
And I feel like with following obedience and having the Spirit in you, alive in you, you can't run away from it. Like, it's just going to evidently happen.
Yeah.
Because that is his nature. And when his nature starts taking over in your life, you embody that stuff. And it's not by choice. It's because it's him that's doing it through you.
And I was just thinking about this. So, like, it's something about, like, other Christ followers, right? Like, you just jive most of the time, and it's because he's living inside of them, and you're like,
there's so much common ground. Yeah,
it's the same person living inside of both of y'all. And I don't know why, but it just clicked, and I was like, oh my gosh. Because sometimes we're like, man, my spirit didn't sit right with that situation or like that conversation or something like that, and it's because it was going against Christ. It was going against what he stands for and what he loves and all this stuff. So sometimes, like, even in situations of like gossiping or something, and you're like, oh, you know, like, I shouldn't have said all that, and like you feel nasty in that moment, and it's because Christ is living inside of you,
and that is against his spirit. It's like your flesh inside of you fighting the spirit inside of you at the same time.
My mom has made the comment of like, I don't know who she heard this from, but like when you're cussing or like drinking, smoking, stuff like that, and Christ lives inside of you, there's nowhere for him to go. So you're just drinking him. He doesn't want to be in those situations. He doesn't want to be smoking and drinking and vaping and whatever, but he's living inside of you.
So then you have that pull, that like tug of war constantly in your life, in your mind, in your emotions, everything that you feel. And that's literally what it is. It's his spirit against your fleshly desires, that you constantly have to put your fleshly desires down and to the side. And like what you're saying is, I think following that obedience, following this type of command shrinks that flesh and lets his spirit take over. Even though you're not a compassionate person, he is. So it's not about you. He is. And he will embody that through you. And that's when people will start to see Christ.
Yeah, that is.
So, but I found too, the coolest thing that the world has put in our mind and how to live and treat others. And it's like this comparison that I was reading of basically the word and what it says and how to treat others, and everything that we probably see on a day-to-day basis out on social media that we've heard others say to us, even when we're having a conversation with them about, you know, an issue with somebody that we're having. Here's how they tell us to handle the situation. And when I was reading this, I was like, this is some good stuff, because it's like, I didn't realize how trained almost we are from the world on how to treat others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not the word. Does that make sense? So I'm going to read some of them, and then we can kind of talk about them. But one of them says, you know, live by your own truth. So like, something that would kind of be like a satanic trend would say, you decide what's right for you in your life. Like, how often do we hear that? Like, you know, you're in control of your life. You make the best decision for yourself. You do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard that my whole life.
Biblical.
No. And like, you know, the truth in what the warning was it saying truth isn't subjective. Truth is not relative. Truth is found in Jesus and his word. And it's like, so the truth that you need in your life, you can't find that on your own. But we're trained that. That's what we're told from the world. And I think that's what keeps so many people in such a confused state of mind. And why they can't figure things out. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because the same thing that like goes with that, and this might be something that you're going to say, but like do what makes you happy.
Yes.
And it's like, no, because what makes me happy is feeding my fleshly desires, and it's going completely against everything. Because there was another thing that I read yesterday, I want to say, and it was saying like, okay, alcohol and drugs and all that stuff, it made you happy for a split second.
Right.
Like, so if I'm going to continue living that life, it's going to consume me, and it only makes you happy when you're in there. You need to think of your eternal happiness, your eternal joy. And where do you find that? With Jesus Christ. Right. That's the only way. And so like that, do what makes you happy. No, like do what glorifies God.
Right.
I've seen that graphic.
Will make you happier.
Yes. Absolutely.
It will bring you more peace.
Because I've never been more happy in my life.
Yeah,
never.
No.
Or not even just happy. Never been so joyful, because happiness will come and go. Like sometimes, you know, but your joy will always be there.
And true peace.
And true joy, true peace comes with following Jesus and doing what glorifies him.
Right. And so, but I mean, it's just so embedded in us, I think, and things that we see out in the world. This is why, like, this caught me so off guard, and I thought it was so great. And I was like, man, I wrote down every little thing, because it's just, I remember even before giving my life to Jesus, thinking these things would get me where I wanted to go.
Yep.
And it never did. Mm-hmm. It always just ended up in failure.
What was another one?
Yeah. So, like, our culture is kind of like a cancel culture. So cancel them, expose them, or pay them back is definitely embedded in us when somebody does something wrong to us. And this 100% goes with loving people where they're at. Yeah. Because we're not always, people have a sinful nature. We still even do. Yeah. We're not always going to do right by others 100% of the time. I just can't be perfect, right? But it's like we've been trained, or the world would say, you know, to just cut them off. Yeah. Right. Like, be done with them, cancel them, be done with them. And so it's saying, you know, there's a warning to that. We are called to love and overcome evil with good. Vengeance belongs to God. And so, you know, it's just crazy to think that what we have so stuck in our mind, or what we have grown up just learning, is like completely has to be relearned. Yeah. You know what I mean? And completely we have to dive into what his spirit, what his word calls us to do, and how to love others and not just cancel them. Now, I'm not saying there's not certain situations where people are in situations that they do need to get away from people. Yeah, absolutely. That's a totally different, you know, kind of subject. But because I do believe, you know, safety, everything like that is first. But just, you know, smaller things like gossip, things like that, and not canceling somebody just because of where they are in their life. Yeah. And just loving them through it. Well,
you know, when I'm thinking of that, you think of that tit for tat mentality. And if we're going tit for tat, then you're in a mess, because God's not doing tit for tat. He's not tallying up all of these numbers of the wrongs that you've done. Your debt's been forgiven. Yeah. You know, so if you're holding on to this bitterness of someone wronging you and doing these things, who are you?
Just like ask yourself again, John 15:12, love others as I have loved you. Yeah. Did he love me like that, a tit for tat? Did he put, you know, certain standards on his love for me? No, he didn't. He came to the cross regardless of anything that it's not anything that I had to do or a standard I had to live up to. That's what he did regardless. And so to get there and doing that to others, I'm not there. Yeah. Like, that's going to be a work in progress for me, because my flesh wants me to love others when they're giving me,
when it's satisfying
to me. Yeah. And I still struggle with that, is loving somebody regardless what they're giving me, what they're bringing to my life. They don't have to bring anything to my life. I need to walk with them through their troubles. They might bring troubles to my life, but I have to love them regardless. And that's hard to do. Like, we can sit up here and talk about it all day long, but when we're in that situation with somebody, like, not giving up, not quitting, going after it through prayer, going after it through having Christ first, like, it's hard. Yeah.
I agree. I mean, there is so many times that you get caught up in they're not benefiting me. They're not pouring into my life.
But that's something the world has like put in our head.
Yeah. We think that the world revolves around us, like truly. And it's like, oh, well, they're not reaching out to me, so I ain't reaching out to them. Yeah. I'm not checking on them because they ain't checking on me. They didn't do this for me, and so on.
I see that all day long. Yeah. I literally see stuff all day long where people are sharing stuff saying, oh, this person, I'm not going to put into what they haven't put into me. Yeah. If I haven't heard from them, you're not going to be a part of my life, this and that, and putting up, these things that just kind of cancel culture. Mm-hmm. You're canceled. Yeah. You're out of my life. You didn't do what I expected. You didn't treat me like I wanted. You didn't send as many text messages throughout the year as I was wanting. So you're canceled.
Girl, if we counted text messages between me and you over the years, like, it would be crazy because, like, there's just certain seasons of your life where you don't talk every day. Yeah. You don't talk once a week. Like,
on everybody.
There's so much going on in your personal life.
Yes.
Where it's like, don't expect people to just constantly be blowing up your phone. Because, I mean, there's some weeks where we don't talk. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I know where we stand. Right. I know I'm going to ride, or if I get a call, I'm going to go. Like,
yes.
But there's just so many times that now it's like, what are they doing for me? Oh, they're not, so I'm done with them.
Right. Yeah. And so that was just something that I thought was so good because I see it all the time. Yeah. That was really good.
Yeah. You got some more?
I do.
Oh, wow. How many total are there?
4 or 5. There was a good bit, like 7.
Oh, okay. Read a few.
Yeah. Not all of them, like towards the end, really go, but I think this kind of goes what we were just talking about, though, was choosing who you help. So only pour into people who pour into you, literally what we were just talking about. But I'll give you kind of what it says about it. It says the golden rules is clear. Do unto others. Real love is always willing to give and without expecting anything in return. Mm-hmm. So it's like we have to get to a point in time where, okay, this is where I have to get to in my mindset with Christ is, I'm not reaching out to you and going out of my way to bring satisfaction to your life. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it out of my love for Christ.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Whether or not, you respond in the way I want, or you think I'm doing what's satisfying to you or anything, I'm just like, Lord, I love you and I want to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant, at the end of this life. So I'm just going to pour into that, and that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Not because I'm just trying to make somebody else happy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. That's good. What else?
So
you got something that's not the same?
Yeah.
What?
So like this one says, life's short, do whatever feels good.
YOLO. You only live once.
Yeah.
And that really goes against it because you don't even really live once.
Right.
Because I'm going to be living for eternity. So it's like, if you're not doing what God calls us to do now, what makes you think that you're going to be wanting to do it like after? Right. This is something that I heard one time, and who knows if it's biblical or not, okay? But it's like, if you don't like to praise and worship and cry out to God and talk to him and be with him now, that is all we're gonna do in eternity is cry out to him and be holy, 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 like truly
passionate
for him in forever, So it's like, why don't you want to do that now when you know that's what you're going to be doing for all of the ends of the earth? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not even the ends of the earth, the ends of forever. Eternity. And that's so hard to comprehend to people, eternity, because our brains physically cannot comprehend, one, how big God is, and two, how long eternity is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those things that you really just can't fathom.
Because there's no ending.
There's no ending. Mm-hmm. No, none. So when we were talking about doing this topic, one of the things that I was thinking about of loving people where they're at is like people living in sin and loving them through their sin, not approving of their sin, but loving them of their sin. And just maybe that's something we can kind of talk about a little bit with.
Yeah. No, I mean, when I had gotten done with this, it kind of helped me to see just how unhealthy everything has taught us to be towards others, and then get into the topic of loving somebody like where they are and how to be a good standard for them, or a good just view of how Christ would treat them, how Christ does love them. Because I think sometimes that's the hardest thing for somebody to living in sin, is they have more than likely, even us growing up, we have been let down so many times by people on this earth. So it's hard for us to comprehend an eternal love and a love that Christ has for us, and we can't grip that. We can't almost accept it, and that's why sometimes I think it's so hard for some people to accept Jesus Christ into their life, is because they are so correlated to what's happened to them in their personal life with other people. So it's like, if these people have done this to me, and this is how I've been treated,
different.
So like, that's hard for me to believe that there's a Jesus out there that loves me like that. So, go ahead, because that's how I just picture it being.
I mean, that's because there's one thing, because I heard this the other day too, where I was talking to somebody and they're like, well, we all sin. So what exactly is the defining moment of living in sin versus just, sin? And so living in sin, just to clarify, would be like you're actively disobeying God. You're actively choosing to live a life that does not glorify God. Or like when you wake up and you're in this sinful state, this sinful season, and you're just continuing to like let it consume you. So I never want people to be like, oh, they're talking about living in sin. Well, aren't we all sinners? Like all this. And that's not what I'm trying to say. I just want to clarify. But, when people are living in sin, I think it's so important. Like Kayla Hill, she was talking about, her episode's called Love Your Neighbor. And she's talking about when she was in a same-sex attraction relationship, and she was living that life. She had this one guy just pour love, his name was Chief, poured love into them, like, and spoke truth. He never was like, you're going to hell, like XYZ. Like, he's like, the Bible does say, that this isn't right, and we shouldn't be living this. This is for men and women, all this stuff. He just spoke truth, and he was like, hey, how are y'all today? Like, y'all look so like, he just went on about life in a loving way instead of hateful. And that is what I want people to see. Like, when I come in contact with people that maybe they feel like I'm going to condemn them or whatever, they're like, I hope they walk away from that conversation and they're like, man, she really just poured love and truth into me. Not she was condemning me,
Right. Yeah. There's a verse that stuck out to me the other day, and it was, worry weighs a person down, an encouraging word cheers a person up. The godly give good advice to their friends, the wicked lead them astray. Proverbs 12:25. So through 26, like, that person was doing in their life, he was not tearing them down. He was giving them encouraging words, but through truth. Right. And still loving them. And it made a huge impact.
It did, because she still talks about it. She was like, that is one of the big pivotal moments of her life, is like, one day they both, her and the significant other or whatever, they went and talked to him and was like, we feel very convicted about this, and we think we don't know what to do. And like, he just was like, here's Bibles or whatever. Like, I want y'all to dig in and start reading and just come back. Like, was reassess, whatever. They ended up splitting, becoming friends. They were just like, no more. And then, I mean, she's married with kids and everything else now to a man. And she always talks about how big he was in her life. Like,
well, and let's just think
what
about
a compliment,
this.
though.
I know.
Like, truly, to be somebody that planted that seed and to loved it and watered it and everything else. Like, absolutely love it.
That's the true definition of what we're talking about today, really and truly, in walking with people. Because, okay, let's think about Jesus and his life on this earth. What did he do? He walked alongside everyone that he came into contact with. Not necessarily the Pharisees, but that's like a whole nother level.
Well, when I think about it, Judas.
Yeah.
Like, he knew without a shadow of a doubt that Judas was going to betray him, and he still chose to wash his feet that night.
And
he still chose to love him and walk with him, because he already knew way back when he first met him, when he first asked him to be his disciple.
Because it was always not my will, but your will, Father. Yeah. So his focus was 100% always on his Father.
Yeah.
It was never, and on the mission that he knew had his calling on his life. And so it's just, that just clicked with me.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, if that's where our mind is, where Jesus's mind was, it was on his Father and his will for his life, what his calling was. He knew his calling from the day he was born, what to do, what he had to complete in his walk with his Father, and everything else just fell in place the way it was supposed to. That's what we need to be doing.
Exactly. Did it really just click for you, didn't it?
Yes.
I can tell. Like, you're like, and then?
I mean, it's just like,
really?
That's where his mindset was. Yeah. And so we're called to be more Jesus-like, and look at where his mind was constantly.
Which, one of the biggest prayers that I just continue to pray is like, let your will be done. Like, don't let me take this into my own hands and try to make this and that and the other happen, because we do know that his plan is so much better. So when we do try to take control of those things, which is normal, it's our flesh, we're gonna do it. But that's when I'm like, Lord, please let this be your will. And that's one of the things about being in line with him, is like, you start to recognize what his will truly is for your life. When you're far away from him, you're not sure what that is, because you can't discern. You can't hear him. You don't know.
Yeah.
So being in line with him and trying to make sure that I'm staying close to him, that's when we can see the will. And Jesus was. I mean, we saw where he would spend 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness crying out to God and spending time with him and praying and fasting. So,
yeah. And it doesn't mean it's not going to always be heavy, because I just think about how heavy it was still on him.
Well, we know that the night before, when he's in the garden, he's crying out like, does this still have to, do I got
take it from me? Yeah. Take it from me, Lord.
Yes. And so we do know that some of the times when we're in these positions, it's going to be heavy.
Right.
God's going to call us to be uncomfortable and do hard things. And you know what else goes with that list of things? God doesn't give things stronger. What is it?
Can handle.
That you can handle. That is such a lie.
Yeah.
It is such a lie, because he does give us hard things, and we can't handle them. That is why he can.
That's what we're supposed to tap into.
We are cooking.
That's what we're supposed to tap into, is, if you think about it from that mindset, no, I can't. But I'm not alive in me anymore. It's not me doing it. It's him fulfilling it. And so he gives us those hard things to do what?
To turn around and give it back to him.
And also what? Tap into the power of the Spirit inside of us, right? And that's something I got to get better at.
Yeah.
Really and truly. Like, I still sometimes carry and walk around that I might not can do certain things, but it's not me doing it anymore. It's him, and he can do these things.
Yeah.
He can handle these things. He can handle this hard news. He can handle this bad situation. I can't.
And he also can love those that you think that you can't love.
Exactly. He 100% loves them.
He does. And he's going to love them through you. Yeah. So, like, one of the things that Miss Cherie talks about is, like, she really struggled loving her husband in the state, like, where they were, because they're completely unyoked. He's agnostic. She's on fire for the Lord. It's hard to love somebody that is like the complete opposite of you, basically.
It's hard to love somebody that you do get along.
I know. There are sometimes, but like, so she says she started having to pray, like, God, love him through me. Like, show me how to love him. Teach me how to love him. Teach me how to be the wife that he needs, so that he can see you, so he can experience you. And you know what? Miss Cherie she got something right, because I mean, after a long time, like, she was loving him, she was pouring God into him, and he came to Christ.
That is crazy, because what I wrote down too was, do we believe that kind of love can truly help somebody change?
Yep.
Yes.
100.
Like the fact that you brought that up about Kayla.
Yeah.
And then Miss Cherie's husband. Like, I think it's sometimes the only way that somebody is going to make that change is when you love them in that manner and you love them through that life.
Because if you're not loving them, how are they experiencing Christ? Like if you're being hateful towards them, how would they experience Christ?
Yeah.
Because now they've got a bad taste in their mouth of what Christians are, because I'm going to be honest, a lot of time we're already called hypocrites anyway of being part of a church. So now you are fitting in with that narrative that people so much always talk about. You know, like they're like, I don't want to come to the church because the church is just full of hypocrites.
Church hurt.
And they have all this church hurt. And it's not Jesus hurt. It's church hurt. It's physical. 4 walls. The people in the 4 walls hurt you. And not Jesus.
Yeah.
That wasn't him. He wouldn't have done that to you. Look at all the people that he just came in contact with and healed them and blessed them and all this stuff. He's the same God as he was then.
That's why I think, and I was saying that earlier, I think that situation right there sometimes is why it's so hard for somebody to accept Jesus.
Absolutely.
Because of that reason.
Yeah.
Because it's so comparative to how they've been treated on this earth by somebody that says they love Jesus. So I would be like, make that make sense. If they love Jesus and they just treated me like this, how does that work? So but that isn't him. That isn't, if you know him and you know his word and you know what he says, that isn't him. That was not him. And that was that human flesh in that person.
You're not supposed to be changing these people anyway. That's not your job.
Yeah.
Your job is just to love them. God's going to change them. God's going to work on their heart. God's going to cleanse them. All this stuff, just like he did me and you.
Yep.
I didn't do anything. My mom didn't do anything. Nobody did anything. God truly, I started surrendering to him and he cleansed me, right? Like,
I'm glad you're bringing that up because I will talk about when my dad first came back into my life.
Yeah.
And we've touched on this
a little. Trying to change you.
We touched on this a little bit, I think, but it kind of goes with this topic. Yeah, he came in fire and brimstone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about, he hadn't been a part of our life. I was 15, 16 at the time. And here he is walking in like, the way you're living, this is not how you need to be living. All of this stuff, like there is a hell, there is this. And I'm like, if you don't, I'm not listening to you.
Face, Mike. I know, because I remember that too.
Yeah. But when he didn't come at it from that angle, and it was probably just something he had to work out with the Lord. He was learning too.
For the Lord, you can't control it. You know what I'm saying? Like fresh, you just want everybody to experience it.
Yeah.
Like you just want them to see what you've seen.
So when he kind of took a step back, and I know he had to pray about it a lot and just started living with us, like just loving us, just kind of like when Paul says to a Jew, I'm a Jew, to a Gentile, I'm a Gentile. I'm just going to meet you where you're at and be on your level.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what my dad had to do, not meaning he partaked in anything that we did, but he was just there. He just started to love us, get to know us, got on our level. Like, what's been going on in your life? Where's your mind? How's everything going? I didn't know you've been through this or, where you've worked, and just really just got on our level. Man, it's like, then you feel open enough to like give that person your time or get, kind of put some trust into that person. And I think that is huge as a Christ follower and loving somebody where they're at is them learning that they can trust you. Because that opens up a whole new realm of being able to speak truth into somebody's life.
Yeah.
And them actually hear it.
It does. Because, I don't necessarily like when my mom went to the Potter's house and she got done, I don't remember her coming back and being like, you better change right now. Like, I just remember her really loving me where I was at.
Yeah,
like,
she didn't.
She didn't say like going to George Bob's again. She would make those sly comments sometimes, but it wasn't never like you're going to hell or hurtful or whatever. She's like, Alexis, this is like the 3rd, 4th time this week.
Girl, what are you doing?
It's Wednesday. It was never, I'm condemning you. I want more for you. And like that was such a turning point in my life because I saw her just radiate Jesus. Like, she just truly just loved and showed me and invited me places. Like, she invited me to that women's conference where, like, literally sparked everything back in April. As soon as I come back from that, I'm like, I'm getting on my health journey. I'm getting on my God journey. Like, I'm getting right. Like, all this.
Yeah.
And so, like, just those little things just make such a big difference of them just being like, I love you. I don't agree with what you're doing, but I love you and I want the best for you. And I'm just going to throw in snippets of, something here and there.
Just throw in those little truth bombs as you've kind of built that trust and that love and that relationship. Because, like, think about this, like our relationship with Jesus, right? And it's starting out, and trust and faith kind of go, hand in hand. Like, our faith grows the more that we learn that we can lean on Jesus, right? And the more that he brings us through, and we know he's going to bring us through it. But it's the same way in a relationship just with somebody, your parent, your friend, your best friend, your aunt, your uncle. The more that you trust them and the more that they walk with you through this life, the more that you feel like you can pour yourself into them or them pour themselves into you. And this is the same way with kind of Jesus and going back and forth and walking through this life with him. So that's us being Christ-like to those around us and allowing them to trust us, and us holding that word and being true to them and true to ourselves.
One of the things that my mom did say too is, like, I didn't get it right for over 30 years. Like, I had experienced God, but I still fell short. I still would go back into that life. I would still do all these things. So who am I to say that you got to get it right now and figure it out? Sometimes it just takes people longer.
Yeah.
And I wish everybody could just experience it right now. But, like, right when I came to Christ, I was beating Greg over the head.
Yeah.
Didn't do nothing but argued worse.
Right.
And then finally I did have to get to the point where I'm like, I just can't really talk about it no more. Right. Like, I don't think it's coming from a
That's what my
healthy
dad
place.
had to get with us was not that he didn't talk about Jesus. He always talked about Jesus, but not to us, just around us. With us.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. It wasn't
difference.
to us. It was with us.
Correct. It would just be like I remember this was when we were all still drinking and stuff. And, we would be feeling awful the next day, probably hungover or something. And he's just like bouncing for joy, like, cooking breakfast or something, like,
for sure, cooking breakfast or asking us to go eat breakfast. Because while we're wanting to eat because we don't feel good, he's just wanting to.
He's just living his life.
And he wants to enjoy it with us.
He looks like he feels great.
Yeah.
I knew he just got out of his word. Like, his mindset is where I want to be. And I'm sitting there in a dark mindset. And I'm like, that's when it starts clicking, when you see somebody walk in their walk like that, and you want and you desire what they have, and you're sitting over there kind of in misery, and you're like, is that real? Is he really that joyful?
Towards the end, I really did start saying this towards the end of my drinking days of, like, I'm going to drink today and steal happiness from tomorrow, because truly, like, you may be living it up and doing all this stuff, but tomorrow's going to suck.
Yeah.
Absolutely be terrible. And so, like, you talking about Mike, I remember my mom always, and I'm like, man, she never feels bad.
I know.
She's always happy. She's always got, just waking up, going to go anywhere. Or the fact of, like, late at night, just jumping into her car, riding to the gas station if she wants to ride. And I'd be like, I can't do that because now I'm intoxicated and I can't drive. I know we're kind of like hitting it. I don't even know how we got here.
Because we're just saying, like, they were just living with us and around us and being that light. And that's how they loved us where we were at.
Yep. That's right.
And that is what we're really, the point we're making from this was, the moment they quit trying to change us, because we were their children, the moment they just started living with us and we saw the joy in their life and they just walked their walk regardless of what we did, we started desiring what they have. And that's how I think you truly love somebody where they're at and help them to get there with Christ.
Yeah. That's good.
So
Man, that's good. Can't believe we came to there.
all the way, we just did a full
Whatever, Greg always says, that's what Pat does all the time. He says, you got to do all this to get to this. You got to do all that. So now every single time. Anyway. All right.
Yeah. It's so crazy how these episodes always go.
Yeah.
Because you never how we plan it.
No.
Never what I think we're going to talk about. And then we just hit topics and God puts stuff on our heart and he talks through us. And it's just
I love
a ride.
I love the Lord.
That's right.
And you know what? And that's what I try to tell people when they're getting ready to come give their testimony on here. It is you truly don't even realize. Even my mom, she despises coming on here. Sometimes it stresses her out. She's worried to death. She don't like the lights and the cameras and all this. It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
At the beginning now, we did have some stuff scripted out. I would send questions and I'd be like, I need to read what you're going to say and all this. And now I'm like,
it puts too much our touch. You don't want your touch on it. You want the Lord's.
Yeah.
So just let it flow.
Exactly. And just be genuine to the conversation. That's one of the reasons why too, I'm like, I think maybe Isaiah's job's become a little bit easier because now we're truly just, you know what, if we mess up or we say something it is what it is. It is what it is,
Yeah.
But
because God is good no matter what. And he gets the glory for all of this. And where there are two, he is there. So I truly believe that he is in every conversation that we have. And we're not going to get it right. And people will, I think, scrutinize you no matter what. But I'm just going to focus on my walk with him and focus on where my relationship is at with him. And that's number one. And hopefully that can flow through these conversations.
Yeah. So our biggest takeaway from today is love the people around you. Love the people that go out of your way for people that have wronged you. Try to forgive.
Right.
Not try. Forgive them.
It's a commandment.
Yes. Forgive them. Love them. Send the text. One of the best, I know we're about to close, but hang on one second. One of the best advice I've ever gotten from a girl, me and her were talking about the situation that I was in and how I was like, I'm just so negative towards it, XYZ. And she's like, whatever your flesh wants to do the opposite.
Yes.
And when she said that, I'm like, man, that's good. And so now every single time I'm like, I am not texting her. I'm not checking on her. I read her status where she don't feel good.
She's canceled.
I ain't praying for it. Who, what, why? I did catch myself in situations like that. And then I'm like, no, my flesh doesn't want that, but God would want that.
Yes.
God would be praying for her. God would be, loving her and checking in on her. So let me, if I'm truly wanting to be Christ-like, I need to do Christ actions, and that would be Christ actions.
That's so good to end on that note, is whatever our flesh sometimes is telling us to do the opposite, because 9 times out of 10, it's Christ-like, and we're called to do it. We're commanded to do it and love others like he loves us.
Clocked it. All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we have.
Yes.
This is going to be a great episode. I feel like I pray that it just pushes you closer to Jesus and that you love others.
Yeah. And even yourself.
And yourself. Love yourself.
The way that he loves you.
Absolutely. So stay tuned, stay blessed, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.